Hello and welcome to episode 7 of Pod Z CCG. This is Crisis.
This is Torment.
Today we have a great episode for you guys. When don't we have a great episode for them?
Episode 1 and 2.
Oh. As always, we will get into our listener emails and a follow-up DBZ question of the week.
Ooh, foreshadowing.
Then we'll get into some Majin Moulder stories. We have our tournament report from last Monday. The Deck Doctor is in and charging. Just kidding, we're not charging anything. And we will discuss our Panini card of the week. This week, what do we have for him?
We have Orange Possession Drill, and I promise we will make time for this Orange Possession Drill card.
We have to, right? It's so hot right now.
I know, so hot.
Don't forget to like us on Facebook. We have 19 confirmed likes right now. So we will be giving out a promo on May 31st. If we get 30 likes, we'll be giving out a second promo. And then if we get 50 likes, we'll give out also a Heroic Energy Sphere. So it works like this.
Heroic Energy Sphere.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was about to say, no,
Heroic Assistance. So it works like this. So right now, the winner of the raffle gets to choose between Red Blocking Hand promo from Square Z, a Confrontation original foil from Square Z, not those knockoff Trunks or Forged ones, or a Goku's Relentless Spirit non-foil. If we get 30 likes, you'll get a choice of Makin Strike, Goku's Face Break, or Android 19 is Stoic as well, so that's 2 promos you can get. The third, if we get 50 likes, you get the Heroic Assistance.
I know on the top tier boards we said that you have to comment us on the page when you like us, but you don't have to do that anymore. We fixed it, so if you just like us, we can see who liked us.
So if you enjoy what you hear, do us a favor and tell your friends.
Yeah, don't forget to hit that subscribe button on iTunes if you have an Apple device. It really helps us out.
We're at Brad's house today, so the kids will be making an appearance next, so don't go anywhere. Pod Z CCG will be back shortly. So, listener emails, or listener email. We only received 1 this week, but quality is better than quantity.
No, it's not. We want emails. Email us anything at podzccg@gmail.com. I mean anything. Deck advice for all your monster bills out there. Score Z questions, Pan Z questions, relationship advice, whatever.
Okay, Dr. Drew.
Dr. Drew, I've been married 15 years. I could give relationship advice.
Go start a relationship podcast.
Yeah.
And do monster bills know they're monster bills?
Well, after hearing the podcast, maybe they think they might be monster bills. So
oh, okay.
Anyone who has deck advice, just email us.
Okay. So here's our first and only email from Darryl Colver with an update on the monster bill out there. He says, "Hey guys, sorry for the late update. If I knew you were waiting with bated breath for my response, I would have emailed sooner. Just kidding."
What a wise guy.
Well, we were kind of looking forward to it.
Don't say that out loud.
Anyway, Darryl continues to say, "My monster bill evolved into a bug catcher Joey, actually. The next tournament, he didn't have an orange Goku. He had a Saiyan Nappa deck that relied on Dragon Ball victory. He filled his deck with a ton of endurance, which Saiyan does have, and ran only 1 attack that I saw, Face Smash, which is good. However, he did not have Saiyan Rescue in there, which I did find weird. But what do you expect from a monster Joey? He did manage to win in his first game by balling out within 3 turns, but I think he stacked his deck. Anyways, I played him second round and made sure not to only cut his deck, but gave it a few hand shuffles. My confirmations of stacking his deck were quite obvious from the expression on his face. I was able to go first and get to level 3 in a few combats with my red Ginyu, and before I got MPBV, he quit. We'll see what he comes back with. I'll keep you updated with my Monster Joey if you want."
Oh, snap. Darryl Colver just created our first Fusion Elm Street personality. Can you imagine what that would sound like? I'm going to try my new Fusion voice out. Ready? right now. We brought a new deck today, Saiyan Nappa Ball. We only have one attack here. Face Smash! We love making new decks every week and hate deck advice. Here we come, Minkus Minkus. Prepare to get blasted in the next dimension.
How'd you do that? That's pretty cool.
Practice.
Okay, so on to our DBZ question of the week. The question is, who is the worst DBZ character? I gotta get my Darryl Colver voice out. Okay. Who is the worst DBZ character and why? And if you had to fight said character in real life, how would you defeat them?
Okay, so we have the three kids sitting in here. I think I'm gonna go first, then Brandon. Or I'm sorry, Brandon's gonna go first, then me, then Jordan, then Logan, and then Sam. Do you guys want to say hi real quick?
Hello.
Hi.
Are you wearing your Phoebe pajamas, Logan?
Yes.
He looks very depressed.
Okay, so Brandon's gonna start us out.
So, I was thinking, what does Yamcha do in Z? Play baseball? He actually assaults another baseball player with a wooden bat, and committing a hate crime in the process. Just look at Blue Bat Attack, for example. Wasn't he the one that thought he defeated the Cyberman and stupidly said, "Hey, don't worry, guys, I can take them all on," or something like that? It was so stupid. Where did that land him? Dead from the same Cyberman he thought he defeated. Am I wrong? Hold on. Stop recording for a second.
Okay.
Okay, I just looked this up. I looked Yamcha up on Wikipedia, the most reliable web resource on the internet. Look what it says. He then helps out during the battle with the androids in Cell, but for the most part, does not participate in fighting. That being said, my all-time worst character is Pycon, because he shouldn't be able to declare Namekian. I just pop his bulbous head with a needle and move on.
Yeah, that's cool. He does have a pretty big Martian-like head. Looks easily poppable. For mine, at first I was going to go with Chaozu, but his only saving grace was sacrificing himself to try and kill Nappa. What a martyr. Then I thought maybe Bubbles, because I hate monkeys and everything.
Why do you hate monkeys?
Because they're so stupid looking.
What about lemurs?
Lemurs are pretty cool.
Yeah, lemurs are cool.
The only found in Madagascar?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's cool. I like lemurs. But, like normal monkeys, apes, I don't like them. But then Kid Trunks came to mind. I do hate spoiled rich little kids who think they should be entitled to everything. But then I got to thinking that was really only Bulma's fault because she spoiled him. I really can't say that I hated anyone that Akira Toriyama made, so I'll go with someone that's in the anime, not the manga. Then it came to me, Arqua. Right before the World Games tournament that takes place during the Babidi Saga, all the different KOs of the universe, North, South, East, and West KO, argue which of them had the strongest fighter in the universe. Did you ever watch that?
Yeah.
The Celestial Games?
I did, because I have all the episodes up until the World Games, I think. I need seasons 7, 8, and 9.
What?
I just wanted to say I know what you're about to say.
You've seen the World Tournament? The Celestial Tournament?
Yeah, where it's in the Kai's
Yeah.
stronger.
Yeah. Do you remember who the West KO fighter is?
I can't picture the West KO, so I don't.
The guy with the monocle?
Pycon?
Yep, that's right. You did your homework. They argue over which of them have the strongest fighter in the universe. To determine who's the strongest, they hold a tournament. Each KO enters their fighter into the tournament. And the equally annoying East KO, the female one...
Who looks like Marissa.
Yeah, that's right. Enters her manfish fighter, Arqua. What a loser. He gets matched up against Goku. At first, Arqua seems timid and stupid. And then after taking a beating from Goku for a bit, Arqua uses a special attack to turn the whole arena into an ocean. This gives him a power boost. He then turns all fierce and evil. But Goku ends up blinding him with a Teioken and flies up in the air and uses Kamehameha to destroy him. Since Arqua is part fish and part human, I'm assuming I have always wanted to try human after watching the TV show Hannibal.
What do you mean try human?
Like, eat it.
I wouldn't admit that if I were you.
Well, I'm only half serious, but how's this? He's just a giant fish. How awesome would that be to make sashimi out of him? Talk about an all-you-could-eat buffet. Sam and I would have a contest to see who could eat the most arqua.
Yes, please.
Dibs on all the fatty
That's
pieces.
so gross.
No, the fatty pieces are a delicacy on sushi. Like the fatty tuna belly is like $20 a piece.
That's really gross.
It's hecka
It
good.
actually makes me kind of want to throw up.
It's called toro. Have you ever had toro?
I don't know.
You would know because it's amazing.
Is it firm like regular tuna?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. As long as it's firm and not all slimy like fatty bacon.
yeah. Jordan,
Okay,
let's go with you.
so I would kill Goten, the one DBZ character who I thought cheated. He can be a Super Saiyan, but he can't fly. He is Akira Toriyama's worst creation.
Actually,
He learns to fly.
He
he learns
learns
to
to
fly
fly.
in filler.
No, he learns how to fly in the manga also, but Gohan has to teach him, but he can turn Super Saiyan
Just
before
salty
he can
that
fly.
you can't go Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
You guys are interesting. I would throw him off a cliff into a bucket of acid, then I would slowly cut off his limbs and feed them to Yakon.
So Gakon is real in this universe too? In this fictional universe? Okay. I don't like Goten either.
Okay, Logan.
The worst character I would say would be Krillin.
Okay.
And you know when he has hair with, when he retired fighting?
Yeah, that stupid haircut.
I would shave it, and then I would grab a knife, go right to his head, and go like this.
So you would stab him right in the brain and twist it around like you're making a brain slushy.
Yep.
And that would kill him.
So for Krillin, you would stab him in the head with a knife. Okay, Sam.
Well, I really, really despise people who are mutants like Tien.
With the third eye.
I guess you would hate the movie Total Recall then. You should watch that.
But there's one person who's useless. Krillin. I would rip off Krillin's head.
Okay, so that was pretty dark. I don't think we'll be talking about death anymore anytime soon. So we'll try to lighten the mood next with some Majin Moulder stories, so don't go away. Pod Z CCG will be right back. Like Brad hinted last week, a lot of our antics with Majin Moulder took place while we were driving. We have 3 stories for you this week. Some take place behind the wheel, some don't. So welcome back. It's Majin Moulder time.
Alright, so I'm going to go first. During the majority of the time you and I and Josh hung out, I worked at the dental office as head of the front office.
Receptionist.
Whatever, that was my official title, but on my resume, I have it as head of the front office. I was the only one there from 5 to 6, so that sucked. You and Josh decided to drop by one night. I think you brought him by to show him where I worked or something. From the moment you guys stepped in the office, I saw Josh eyeing something. He had that mischievous look in his eye. We were talking about the card game, and it was apparent his attention was extremely focused on something behind me. I said, "What are you looking at?" Do you remember him, looking at something? You probably didn't pay attention to it.
No, I was so used to it because apparently he had ADD and ADHD. I didn't know you could have 2 things like that at once.
And a heart murmur.
Yeah. That kid had so much going for him. I think it was just an excuse he used just to get out of school.
Yeah. So he's looking at something behind me, and I was like, "What are you looking at?" I peered behind my shoulder, and he said excitedly, "You have a copy machine here." And I said, "Yeah," and thought nothing of it, of course. I walked past him, turned the TV off, and he started to walk toward the copy machine and started lowering his pants. I said, "Hold on, Josh, you can't do that." He said, "What?" "I'm just adjusting my pants." I was like, "Yeah, right." He sat down in the chair next to the copy machine, and I continued my ritual. I'd go turn the radio off in the back, clean some dental tools.
You had to clean dental tools?
Sterilize them, yeah. They had to be sterilized for OSHA.
Well, shouldn't the assistant do that? Like the dental assistant?
Yeah, they should. But
But
I
the-
wanted to learn how to do it, so
Oh, okay.
I thought I was going to move on up in the receptionist world.
Oh.
So I thought I'd learn some new stuff. So then, as I was cleaning the utensils, I heard the copy machine lid lift up. I ran back to the lobby, and Josh was standing there in nothing but his boxers and his pants around his ankles, about to climb on top of the copy machine. I knew it. I knew he was going to try to make copies of his butt. I screamed, "Josh, no!" He was worse than a little kid, so fidgety. He then said, "I've always wanted to make a copy of my butt." And I said, "Can you just sit still for a minute? This kid was driving me nuts." He was worse than like a 7-year-old on crack. I was like, "Just sit down, I'm almost done." And then you had to go to the bathroom, and I was like, "Great. Brandon's going to go to the bathroom, and I have to finish duplicating these x-rays before 6. So I had to go to the dark room.
So you had to babysit.
Yeah. I should have known better. I should have waited for you to come out. I heard the copy machine going off, not once, not twice, but 20 times. I was so mad. I was powerless. I couldn't open the door to the dark room because it would ruin the film if the light touched it, and it was someone's x-ray, so if I would ruin the film, I'd have to bring him back in. I tried yelling from the dark room, "Knock it off, Josh! I can get in trouble for this. I can get fired." He was laughing his evil laugh the whole time. He couldn't hear me. Or if he did, he pretended not to notice. My x-rays were done duplicating, so I threw open the door, and there he sat on the copy machine still, pants and boxers around his ankles. Copy machine lid rested on his back. I let my emotions get the best of me, and I lunged at him. I wanted to kill him. He was so scared he jumped off so quickly. In doing so, he cut his bare ass on the metal of the machine. Blood was getting everywhere. He was running around the office with his pants and boxers down, screaming, "I cut my ass! I cut my ass! Is it bad? Is it bad?" And I said, "Stay still, let me see." And I was bleeding quite a bit. He was scared. He thought he would get lockjaw from the machine and wanted me to clean it. I was like, "Are you serious?" At this point, you came out of the bathroom and looked at us like, "What the hell are you guys doing?" I belted out, "His butt's bleeding." You looked at us with a blank stare, and I belted out, "From the copy machine, not from me." And I grabbed the first aid kit, bandaged him up, and he pulled everything back up. I'm so glad we didn't get a visit from any patients because the lobby was still open till 6, and it was like 5:30 at this time. He then made his way over to the copy machine tray and grabbed his ass portraits. He said, "I'm not letting these go to waste," all proud. I was so stressed out. Thankfully it was 6 and we had to leave. I set the alarm and Josh goes with you in your car and I leave. I tried my best to forget about all this, and I didn't go to sleep till like 4 o'clock that morning. I get up the next day and I forgot all about it until I arrived at work. Apparently you and Josh had stuck around with scotch tape and put copies up on all the windows of the shopping center, including, but not limited to, McDonald's, the liquor store, Taco Bell, Save Mart Pharmacy, and most importantly, my dental office. Everyone was outside looking at the copies, like everyone. There was 100 people looking.
I don't think there were 100.
There were a lot. There were like 100 people, like 10 at each store, just looking. I was so mad. Nobody was taking the papers down either. The property manager was called, and he took down all the photos. That's my story. Can you top that?
I could try. It doesn't include anal bleeding. Well, not this story. But it involves a place of employment. Now, I don't know if you know this yet, but Josh was a minor. It seemed he was 17 for like 6 years.
Yeah, it seemed like he was 17 for like ever. We must have met him like the day after his 17th birthday.
It was a daily routine. We'd hang out every day. At this point in time, I was working at Domino's as a pizza maker, making a whopping $7.53 an hour, before being promoted to assistant manager, which came with a 47-cent pay raise.
Ooh.
It was awesome because it was all the food I could eat, but it was bad because it was all the food I could eat. I'm about to go on a Domino's tangent, so I apologize.
Here we go.
Shut up. You got to talk about your sissy receptionist job. So I'll talk about my manly man pizza maker job.
I'm a man and I make pizzas. I'm a pizza making man. I don't answer phones except when they call to have me make a pizza. So you were like a receptionist at Domino's.
Yeah, but I moved up.
You were a pizza making man. The pizza maker.
I actually got this job when I was about 20 from this guy named Jeremy in my mythology class when I was going to college. He said I was going to be a delivery driver, which I thought was pretty cool. I was so pumped up, getting paid to deliver pizzas while listening to music. So the owner, come to find out, his name was Walt. He was an ex-Navy SEAL. And he was such a hard ass. I would be a pizza maker in training, but not a driver.
Pizza making man. I'm a pizza making man. Okay, Jordan raised his hand. Do you have a question?
Yeah, was he did he take his job like super serious?
Of course he was.
Man.
He was the owner.
I remember he got so pissed at Round Table when they came out with the Maui Zowie because he knew it was the best pizza in the world, and he tried to duplicate the sauce and he couldn't.
Yeah.
Oh man, that guy was a hardcore pizza making man.
So the first few weeks of working at Domino's, I'd answer phones and take pizza orders. I'd make sure the toppings were stocked, chicken wings prepped in groups of 10, which were wrapped in foil for easy drops into the oven during rush hour. I'd fold pizza boxes, peon work.
Who'd you pee on?
What?
Oh, excuse me. Who did you urinate on?
What are you talking about?
Pee on work.
Peon. Not pee, pause, on. Peon.
Yeah, I know.
So after a few weeks, it was time for me to start making pizzas.
Because you were a pizza making man.
Where'd that come from?
I just thought of it.
Pizza.
We'd have to slap the dough out by hand, meaning taking a ball of dough and shaping it into either a small, medium, or large pizza. Now, there was no official pizza slapping training. It was learning from experience, but boy, you better learn fast. Walt, the hard-ass Navy SEAL, would man the oven to ensure that no huge bubbles formed on the pizza dough when it was going through the oven. While us lowly grunts,
Peons.
peons, would slap the pizzas, make them, toss them in the oven.
So, but that's my favorite part on the pizza sometimes are the bubbles.
Uh-huh.
Can you order your pizza like with extra bubbles? Or is that not proper pizza making man etiquette?
We can't make bubbles. Like, if you order pizza with bubbles, it's random.
Oh, okay.
It just depends.
Can you say, like, I want a pizza with bubbles, and they have to keep making it till bubbles come?
That never came through, but I'm guessing so.
Walt would think that's like the pizza of Satan or something.
I got the hang of it rather quickly. I mean, they weren't the best pizzas in the world, but they met Walt's standards for the most part. I had a few here and there that sucked, but this one time, though, this new guy named Terry made a pizza, and it did not meet Walt's standards. Not only did it have the wrong number of pepperoni on the pie, because you could only have 48 pepperoni on a single topping pizza, or 36 on one that had 3 toppings or more. It was slightly oblong, like an ellipse or an elliptical. It was rush hour, so we're backed up, and Terry did not take his time. The pizza came out of the oven, and you heard, "Who made this pizza?" We looked at it, and Terry fessed up. Walt said, "Come here, you!"
Come here, you.
All Gordon Ramsay-like. And he threw the pizza right in the garbage and said, "Make it again."
You donkey.
Yeah.
They could have made a TV show off of this.
Terry's spirit was crushed, and he started crying. Terry went back to making the pizza, and Walt said, "The customer didn't ask for extra salt on the pizza, right? So don't get any of your tears on the dough."
Pizza tears.
So we all thought Walt's comment about not letting tears on the pizza was hilarious, except for Terry, of course. The pizza made from the hands of sorrow came out of the oven, and Walt said, This is your best pizza yet, dude. Do you have a girlfriend?" And Terry said, "Yeah," and he was like still sobbing a little bit. And Walt said, "Whenever you come here to work, imagine that she's behind the dumpster out back. And every time you make a pizza, She knows this and she's cheating on me. Think of this every time you make a pizza, and we'll never have this problem again.
So he can make his sorrow pizza.
Yeah. It was stressful working for that guy. Even years later, after I stopped working, our little brother Matt would work there, and I knew the code to the back of the store, so I could come in through the back, and I'd just take a bag of chicken wings home.
Oh, man.
And Matt was like, "You're just going to take those?" I said, "Yeah." It wasn't stealing. I paid my dues there.
Oh yeah, well you did work before it.
So back to my routine. I'd wake up and depending on my schedule, I'd play some games or until Josh got up, or I'd work the morning shift. Even if I had to work the late shift at Domino's, I'd get off at 9 unless I had to close. We'd close at 12 on weekdays and then 1:30 on Fridays and Saturdays. So I was there a good 2 hours after closing each time I had to close. During one of these late nights, Josh miraculously showed up to my work. It was about 10 o'clock in the nighttime. I don't remember how he got there because he lived in Roseville and it was a good 35 minutes away. At this Domino's I worked at, since I worked at 2, I worked at North Highlands and Rancho. Walt owned both stores, and wherever I was needed, I would work. At this store, all the delivery drivers, every single one of them were Russian or Armenian.
At the Rancho store, right?
Yes, at the Rancho Cordova store. And for some reason, they all loved Josh but hated me. Like, at first, I just thought they hated white people. But when Josh came around, I think they thought he might have been a little retarded. And maybe they were like, that's why, but I don't know. He stuck around until I closed. He helped make pizzas, he swept up, and talked about DBZ. The last driver finished mopping the floor, and he finished doing his dishes, so he just took off while I did all the paperwork and got the systems ready for the next day. I turned to Josh and said, "Hey, you know how to start up a car, don't you? I want to warm up my car before I head out, but I gotta stay here and deal with this paperwork." He said, "Yeah, of course I do."
Duh.
Yeah, and I said, "Well, you know it's a stick shift, it can be kind of tricky at times. Just give me the keys," he said. So I did. After a minute or two, I was worried because he hadn't come back yet, and the Domino's was in a bad part of town. I walked outside after I finished up the system reboot and saw him sitting in the car. Now, the car was parked on the right side of the building, right next to the wall of Domino's. He threw up his hands in the air and gave a disgusted look on his face like, "The car is broken, it won't start." I said, "Well, you have to step on the clutch and turn the key." And when he did this, he released the clutch too fast after the car started, because he didn't know what he was doing, and he drove the car straight into the wall of Domino's, causing very minor damage to my bumper, but about $3,000 of damage worth the damage to the wall.
So he drove the car through the Domino's wall.
Not through it, into it.
And it made a hole in the wall.
A huge hole the size of a car bumper. I know it was worth about $3,000 because Walt complained about it for months straight, having to pay for it. The look on Josh's face was priceless. He was so scared. So I looked around for witnesses, didn't find any. There were no cameras. So no one other than myself and Josh knew what happened.
Where were you guys even going that night?
I don't know. We just drive around at night and explore. Actually, this one time we drove behind a little strip mall. But behind this little shopping center, there was this big dumpster with a single light post shining down on it.
Like a sign.
Yeah, like, check this out. So, you know those brick walls that huge dumpsters are housed in?
Yeah.
Usually there's big doors that go across to block the dumpsters, but the doors that secured this one were unhinged and laying to the side of it. I guess this part of the strip mall was vacant because the dumpster showed no signs of recent business use, I should say. We looked closer and found that it had some other recent use, human use.
Sick.
In terms of waste.
Oh, I thought it was dead bodies.
No, not dead bodies. But we did notice that the dumpster was moved out of place instead of sitting flush against the back wall, and found a treasure trove. Guess what we found?
A stamp collection.
Nope.
Silver coin.
Nope.
Pokemon cards.
Nope.
Burnt out fluorescent light bulbs.
How are burnt out fluorescent light bulbs treasure?
Because you could hit each other with them.
No, we found a dirty mattress. Not even one of those twin mattresses. It was a small, childlike mattress that you put in a race car bed. It was filthy, and her eyes were drawn to dark brown stains on it.
Sick.
What do you think it was?
The dark brown stains?
Yeah.
Probably rust.
I say there's filthy dark brown stains on a mattress, and you think it's rust? There are far worse things than rust that could be dark brown.
I hate getting rust on my hands, and it takes forever to wash off.
You know it could be feces, right?
Rust stinks, too.
You think rust is more vile than feces? How would rust get on the mattress anyway?
I don't know, like the metal springs, I guess. Rust can give you lockjaw, too.
Well, we thought it could have been one of two things. Poop or blood. Josh bent down and smelt it, but it didn't stink, he said. Then we discovered the cause of the brown spots. To the left of the mattress was a metal rod.
Aha! A rusty metal rod.
No.
Huh.
At the end of the metal rod was a hook. Not just any hook. A hook that someone would use if their hand got cut off.
Like prosthetic, like Captain Hook.
Yeah. On this hook was the same brown stain.
Rust.
Nope.
Oh.
Blood. Josh took the hook and claimed it like the master sword, throwing it up in the air as the light shone down on him.
Wait.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever thought about the poor guy that you took his hook from?
I think of that now, but
Why would he even have it off?
Yeah. And
Unless he was like a guy with multiple hooks.
he probably got stabbed with it and had to leave the scene to go to the hospital. Like, someone probably attacked him with it.
Yeah.
But he's like disabled, so you know.
It probably wasn't even his hook. I don't know what it was. Maybe that's how he contracted HIV, because he did prick himself with it while he was...
He had AIDS?
So he had AIDS, he had ADD, he had ADHD, he had a heart murmur.
This guy was jacked up.
No, he didn't have AIDS.
I didn't think so.
He did take it, though, and later cleaned it up. He had a name for it, like, I think it was Mini-Man number 2, because Mini-Man number 1 was his little pocket knife.
This guy was armed to the teeth.
Yeah, he was. He also found some of those little fireworks, the ones that you throw on the ground. I think, what are they, poppers?
Yeah. What else was there?
I think that was it.
That hardly constitutes as a treasure trove.
On our way back to his place to drop him off for the night, we were on the freeway. He said, "Look at that Jaguar." I said, "Where?" And he said, "Right there." Now, I don't know cars. Someone could say, "Oh, look at there's a nice car right there." I won't know what they're talking about. Like, when I see cars, I don't see nice or crappy cars. I see a car. To me, a $300,000 Bentley Martian Ashton looks just like a $1,000 Coupe de Ville. So I said, "What color? What color is it?" Point to it. He said, "The white one right there." So I drive up next to it because he wants to check it out. And so, Josh is checking it out. And Josh puts the still bloodied hook rod, the rod hook, in his infamous hoodie.
Like in his sleeve? Like
Yeah.
he had a fake hook?
Yeah, and tried to scare the driver with it. He made it look like he had a hook hand, and he was making all these funny noises. But the window was up, so the driver didn't hear him.
What kind of funny noises was he making?
Like, just stupid stuff. He then relinquished Mini-Man 2 and pulled out the poppers and rolled the window down. I had to keep my eyes on the road, so I didn't see him start throwing poppers at the car. I heard them going off, but I just thought they were hitting the ground until the honking started. I looked over and saw that there were little bursts of sparks popping all over the car, and I couldn't slow down because the cars were behind me. I couldn't change lanes because there were cars next to me, so I just sped up. As I sped up, though, the car got behind me, and Josh yelled, "Oil slick!"
Oil slick.
Yeah, like, what? I said, huh? He pulled an empty plastic orange juice bottle out from his big hoodie pocket.
This guy was an evil Inspector Gadget.
Yeah, like, go, F your shit up. He flung the empty bottle out of the car behind him, and it landed right on the windshield.
And you were like his sidekick driving the car.
Yeah. So it swerved to a different lane, and I got off on the upcoming exit. I forgot all about this until 2 weeks later. I got a letter in the mail from the Sacramento Sheriff Department regarding a complaint someone made about being bombarded by BBs and an orange juice bottle.
So they thought the poppers were BBs?
Yep.
I didn't know BBs exploded on contact and made sparks.
Yeah, it was dumb.
Wasn't there something that involved like a Burger King or something?
He did steal a giant Homer decal from the window one time.
No. What was it? 2 people were sitting on the lawn?
Oh, yeah. I remember that. It wasn't Burger King. Well, okay. We were driving to a DBZ tournament Friday afternoon, and there was a Burger King down the street from Abrams.
Yeah, I ate there a few weeks ago before a tournament, and their food is crap now. I hate Burger King.
Well, for some reason, we took a right there. I have no idea why, but we just took a right on that corner. And just maybe about 20 feet down the road, there was a guy sitting on the grassy hill a few feet from the street, and a girl was sitting in front of him on his lap.
Like, facing him or away from him?
No, away from him.
Oh, okay.
He had his legs wrapped around her like he was hugging her with his legs.
Uh-huh.
Josh rolled the window down and said, well, he didn't say it, he yelled, "Up the butt!" because it looked like from that angle that's what was going on. We circled the block, and he says, "Go around again, go around again."
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
It's like sidekick and villain. Dang.
Why? Why did you keep
It
going?
was funny.
It is pretty funny.
So we circled the block, make the same right, and then he yells, "Up the butt!" at the same couple. They were sitting there, just like that, like Ace Ventura saying, "Like a glove." So we were dying. You could see the guy's face getting all red, too. Josh says, "Go around again." We do it. Probably 4 or 6, like 8 more times. And the guy was getting redder and redder each time it seemed. Like, it was funny because Josh kept finding new ways to say it, like, "Up the butt." Like, "Up the butt." "Up at the butt." So, on our last time, Josh had his window down, and the guy was standing up. He had something in his hand. Josh sees this and says, "Don't slow down. Do not slow down." And I locked the window so that the window can't roll up. Guess what I did?
You slow down.
Oh, I sure did. I even pulled the car close to the curb, going like 1.5 miles an hour. Josh was horrified, and the dude whips his jacket at Josh's head. That's what he was holding. He cowered against me and screamed like a girl. It was hilarious, and we drove off.
How long would you have been circling around the block if the guy hadn't stood up? Or stood up?
We would have been missing that Dragon Ball tournament, that's for sure. That's how long.
And this didn't deter you from hanging out with him?
Nope, not yet. So that's all for the Majin Moulder stories. Stay tuned for Tournament Report, Deck Doctor. We have Deck Doctor, right?
Yep.
And our Pansy card of the week, Orange Possession Drill. We'll be right back.
Up the butt. Up the butt. Up the butt.
Okay, so Adventures in Comics and Games.
Abrams.
Monday, May 18th, I decided to bring back my Blue Frieza deck. Missing a few key cards, which we'll go over. We only had the Bartholomew 2-strong show up, just the 5 of us. Logan with his Saiyan Vegeta. Jordan with his Black Trunks. Sam with his Blue Goku. Brad Blue Ginyu. And like I said, my Blue Frieza. I was running Blue Frieza Ball / MPPV. And I decided to not run spheres to fit some extra blocks in my deck. So round 1, it was me against Jordan's Black Trunks. I remember going first and passing with a block in hand. Jordan drew 3 cards and said, "Wow, I even pile shuffled. I'll enter." So he combos off of 2 sword stances to get to level 3 first combat. Knowing that I played defensive, he didn't have to worry about holding onto any blocks. So we both passed. It was my go. I throw down ball 6, I believe, and pass. He draws into Smoothness Drill, throws it down, and I know I'm in trouble. I'm praying for a Blue Terror or a Blue Betrayal. He passes, I draw my through, and I think I throw down ball 5. I pass. I have to say he played really smart because he entered with a 6-card hand and threw a few attacks my way, waiting for me to get to 4 anger, and then stop throwing attacks. He hit me with 2 black taunts in a row, milling 10 straight from my deck. And this is when I was getting mad because I had a card in my hand that could raise my anger 2, but I didn't want to yet because I wanted to gain an anger from a block and then raise my anger 2, but he wasn't having it. He throws a black energy wave at me, and I get no endurance. He steals ball 5, and guess what he draws? Black Capture. It attaches, and I'm now banishing a card every turn. Eventually, I get ball 1 banished from this. I make it to level 3, but I'm just drawing dead at this point. I have to say, he did have Sam in his ear the whole time. Sam was like, just go with your instincts.
Yeah, because Sam had the bye, right?
Yeah. And whenever Jordan would say, I don't know if I want to do this, I'm afraid to, and Sam would be like, just go with your gut.
Is he knows that, like, when he whispers in my ear, it, like, secretly makes, like, my subconscious decisions. So technically I was thinking I was doing.
And then, so it kind of was 2 against 1, but I ended up losing it. Round 2, I get the bye. Round 3 was against Logan Saiyan Vegeta. Not much to say here. I was able to stop most of his attacks and get to level 4 quickly. He had no anti-anger in his deck, and brought me down to about 15 life cards before I finally lucked out and hit 5 anger. So I won that one.
Cool. So you win 2-1?
2-1.
Okay. So round 1, Brad's Blue Ginyu against Logan Saiyan Vegeta. We got paired up against round 1. Saiyan Vegeta is so fast, he got to level 3 with me in 2 combats. I was not able to draw a head knock to lower him. I was able to keep out my key allies though. After a few more combats, I was able to pull out the win. Round 2, Blue Ginyu against Black Trunks, Brad versus Jordan. Jordan was on cloud 9 after beating Brandon's Blue Frieza deck, but the outcome was already decided before the match even begun. Jordan super shuffled his deck and put it down for me to cut. I then shuffled it for a good 20 seconds and cut it. If he was going to pull 2 sword stances in one turn, I wanted to make sure that I sealed my own fate. It is very tough to beat Trunks level 3 with a smoothness draw out. A few turns go by without us entering. He finally enters and uses Trunks sword stance, naming Black Consecutive Blast very confidently. I ask, isn't it called Concussive Blast? Jordan then says, you're really going to do this? I then say, well, Black Concussive Blast is on the top of your life deck, not Black Consecutive Blast. But I let him know I'm joking. Only halfway joking, though, because if this were a regionals or a bigger tournament and he doesn't know the name of his cards, some other players might not be so forgiving. So he levels up to Trunks level 2. I can't recall the cards he uses this combat, but I remember what I used. I had Overpowering Attack, Blue Rest, Blue Shifting Maneuver, and most importantly, Blue Neck Beam. I Ginyu for Jeese. He's about to put a card down to block it, but then hesitates and doesn't block it. I pick up on this, so he only has 1 block, because if he had more than 1, he'd just block it. I get Jace and declare him for combat. He masteries, I ditch Blue Rest. I Jace, no block, he passes. I then Overpower Attack. He then blocks that one and passes. Then I Neck Beam. A low guttural noise came from his stomach.
I remember hearing it too. It was hecka funny.
It came from his stomach and escaped his mouth like a... It took forever to come out. With the Neck Beam, I also hit his other 2 sword stances. I knew it was game. This cat had no other anger in his deck. If he did, it wasn't enough to level up against Blue. This was the first time my Blue Neck Beam hit when it actually counted. Next turn he drops Black Power Up and passes. I draw 2 blocks and a Blinding Energy move and exclaim, oh, I enter. You know. To make him waste his power up. I Ginyu, he takes it. I grab no allies. I have no other allies except Frieza in my deck anyway. He then takes a bait and Black Power Ups. A few turns later, I end up victorious. Round 3. My Blue Ginyu against Sam's Blue Goku. This deck gave me the most trouble of the night. It was a toss-up. I was not sure who was going to win. If Sam got set up with his drills, it could make it very difficult for me to win. He ends up banishing Nappa very early with Blue Betrayal. He has out 2 blockades. He does this thing when he has Blue Betrayal in his hand, and I know he frickin' has it in his hand, because when I put out a key ally, he'll be like, oh, that sucks. And I'm like, you little jerk. He had blue betrayal. He had out 2 blockades and a blue trick. Not only did I have to worry about his energy beats, his endurance, all his blocks, but also Dragon Balls. Sam would not make any mistakes. He always keeps me on my toes. He gets mental drill, lifting drill, and quickness drill out very early as well. So he was able to see my hand the whole time, the whole game.
Why does he run quickness drill?
So he could, if he had something good in his discard pile, he could get it out.
Okay.
He actually had 2 confrontations on the bottom of his discard pile too. I was at a severe disadvantage. My only saving grace is he doesn't have positioning drill out yet. He also has 2 Dragon Balls out. When I drew the betrayals in my deck, I had to choose what to get rid of, his drills or setups. I chose to go with the blockades. A few rounds later, I decided to make my move. I had Blue Terror, Body Switch, and blocks. I use Ginyu, he blocks. I Jace, he blocks. I Blue Terror, he takes it. I grab Draining Blast. I then use the Body Switch Draining Blast combo that I used against Scott last tournament. I used Ginyu's level 2 power first though. He still was able to endurance away all my attacks. It was so annoying. So even when I used Draining Blast, he only took like 2 or 3 life cards. He had Bulma out, keeping my stare down hostage, and Chi-Chi out for Raccoon. I felt like this kid was not going down. Next combat, he had 7 life cards left. I knew he should have drew quite a few Dragon Balls when I entered on him, with only 2 being out. I used Head Knock. He then said, "Oh, that's game." No, wait, Chi-Chi could block it. I was like, oh, this kid. I then Ginyu level 2, he blocks. He passes, and I finally kill him with another attack. It's so annoying.
So you got first,
Yeah,
and then there's a 3-way tie for second between me, Sam, and Jordan.
yeah.
And don't go away, we have Deck Doctor coming up, so Podzy CCG will be right back. And stick around for that Pansy card of the week, Orange Possession Drill.
It's time for the Deck Doctor. This question comes from Garbage Man Can. We actually did receive this email last week, but since we ran out of time, we decided to put it this week. So don't go back saying, oh, these guys got 2 emails this week. No, this one was from last week. Garbage Man Can asks, I'm trying to build a blue Ginyu deck, but don't know if I should add in so many blocks. What do you guys think? I'm currently running blue Narrow Escape, blue Crouch, blue Rest, and blue Fist Catch. So you're worried about having too many blocks in a blue Ginyu deck? I don't think that's an issue. When making a blue deck, you do need to have a good balance of attacks and blocks. Blue has a lot of great blocks. Remember that blue Rest is not a block. So hit effects still hit. You just prevent damage with that. You may want to consider running blue Avoidance. I know it doesn't have endurance, but it's a great card. Not only is it a block, but you get a copy of that energy attack on your next action. And if you're playing Ginyu, you should have Overpowering Drill, which gives you a free
Unstoppable attack.
unstoppable attack.
Wing copies, yeah.
You may want to replace your Fist Catches with Blue Guards. Blue Guard is a great counter against Black Mastery. But like I said, you need to have balance. It gets sticky when you're playing against a black deck and they mill your whole deck away and you just have blocks in your hands. No amount of blocks can help you with that. Another piece of advice I could give is everyone knows how to play against Ginyu. More than any other personality, in my opinion, everybody knows how to beat Ginyu. They know they need to get rid of your allies, but remember, you can still win with Ginyu with no allies. His first 2 levels have an energy attack, and his 3rd level lets all your attacks do +2 life cards. You don't need to run a ton of physical blocks with Ginyu, since you do want him at 0 or 1 for the most part. You do want to include the multi-block blue shifting maneuver though. If you want to make room for more attacks or events, you can run 2 copies of each of your blocks. That's all I have. Do you have anything to add?
Blue Fist Catch is the one that lowers your opponent's anger, right? Yeah, don't run that.
Even though it's endurance too, I never run it.
Yeah.
And it's just a physical block.
Yeah. Okay, so stick around. We'll be back with our Pansy card of the week, Orange Possession Drill. And we're back. Time for our Panini card of the week, Orange Possession Drill. This card came out in set 2.
Nope. I hate to say it, but we ran out of time again.
We promised. Come on. We could spend a few seconds discussing this card. People are going to think we're doing this on purpose since we hate orange cards so much.
Oh, come on. I just think our listeners would much rather hear cute kittens meowing.
Yeah. Yeah, we can make more time for another orange card next week, right?
Of course.
Okay, I can't wait for this. Cue the kittens. So cute. Until next time, keep rocking the dragon.